two statements. I request that I take both of them at once. First, Honorable Speaker, on security situation health facilities. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health. To seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of national concern regarding the security situation inside Kenyatta National Hospital, following the gruesome murder of two patients, one in February and another one in July, both occurring within the same ward. These tragic incidents raise grave concerns about the adequacy of the security protocols at KNH and other public health institutions. They also expose broader safety gaps that put both patients and medical personnel at risk and raise a disturbing possibility that serial criminals may be operating from within public spaces. In that statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, the number adequate. Number two, the current number of patients who have been discharged but remain at KNH, the reason for their continued detention and duration of their stay. Thirdly, the existing security protocols in public hospitals concerning discharged patients who remain within the facilities, including the Ministry of Health's plan in addressing the continued detention of patients due to unpaid medical bills. My second statement, Honorable Speaker, is on the increase in university accommodation fees. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the sharp increase in the university education, on a matter of national concern regarding the sharp increase in the university hostel accommodations fees across public universities over the past 4 years. Mr. Speaker, First, Honorable Speaker, on security situation inside the Kenyatta National Hospital and other public health facilities. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of national concern regarding the security situation inside Kenyatta National Hospital, following the gruesome murder of two patients, one in February and another one in July, both occurring within the same ward. These tragic incidents raise grave concerns about the adequacy of the security protocols at KNH and other public health institutions. They also expose broader safety gaps that put both patients and medical personnel at risk and raise a disturbing possibility that serial criminals may be operating from within public spaces. In that statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, the number and the nature of deployment of security personnel across all the wards and sections of KNH, including whether this deployment is adequate. Number two, the current number of patients who have been discharged but remain at KNH, the reason for their continued detention and duration of their stay. Thirdly, the existing security protocols in public hospitals concerning discharged patients who remain within the facilities, including the Ministry of Health's plan in addressing the continued detention of patients due to unpaid medical bills. My second statement, Honorable Speaker, is on the increase in university accommodation fees. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the sharp increase in the university hostel accommodations fees across public universities over the past 4 years. Mr. Speaker, public universities in Kenya have traditionally offered affordable accommodation to students, particularly those from low-income backgrounds. However, in recent years, the cost of on-campus accommodation has risen significantly, placing a heavy financial burden on students and their families. This increase has had far-reaching implications, particularly on vulnerable students who are now forced to seek cheaper, often unsafe housing alternatives outside the university premises. Female students in particular, Mr. Speaker, are disproportionately affected and exposed to heightened risks in insecure neighborhoods. This situation undermines not only the right to education, but also the right to dignity and safety for learners. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, the justification behind the increase in accommodation fees in public universities, especially in light of the prevailing economic hardships and the need to ensure affordability and safety for all students. Secondly, the current state of infrastructure in university hostels, including the level of repair and maintenance of existing accommodation facilities. Third, an analysis of the current student populations compared to the available on-campus accommodation spaces and the plans, if any, that exist to expand and upgrade student housing in public universities. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, whether the Higher Education Loans Board intends to revise or enhance student loan disbursements to better support students in meeting essential needs such as accommodation, food, and transportation in view of these increases. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Chute, Senator from Marsabit County.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have a request for a statement on the sharing of subscriber data between telecommunication providers and security agencies. So, Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the protocols and safeguards governing the sharing of subscriber data between communication services and security agencies in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should, 1, clarify the legal procedural frameworks that guide how and when telecom operators share subscriber data with security agencies, including the role of court orders or statutory authorization. Number 2, confirm whether the Office of Data Protection Commissioners has received complaint or undertaken investigations into alleged misuse of such data and provide the status of outcomes. Number 3, explain the oversight roles of the Communication Authority and security agencies in ensuring lawful access and use of subscriber data, including any enforcement actions taken in the last 5 years. Number 4, indicate the number of data access requests submitted by security agencies between the year 2020 and 2025. How many were approved and how many were supported by valid court orders? And finally, Honorable Speaker, outline existing safeguards to protect subscriber data from unauthorized access, misuse, or violation of privacy rights, particularly in light of increased surveillance technology. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
The Senator for Kisii County, the Honorable Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing regarding the Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA, recent announcement on the expansion of Kiambu Road into a 4-lane highway and the controversial provision that only Chinese contractors or consortia led by Chinese firms are eligible to apply for these contracts. Mr. Speaker, in its public advertisement, KENHA invited bids for the Kiambu Road expansion project, but included an explicit requirement restricting eligibility to Chinese contractors or firms led by Chinese entities. Mr. Speaker, this condition raises serious concerns about the fairness, inclusivity, legality of this procurement process, particularly in view of our constitutional principles on competition, non-discrimination, and value for money in public procurement. In that statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. Explain the rationale behind KENHA's decision to limit eligibility for this project to Chinese contractors only, or a consortium led by Chinese firms. Number 2, for the committee to clarify whether this requirement aligns with the Kenya procurement laws, including the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, and whether it complies with any applicable bilateral or multilateral funding agreements. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the state whether the committee should state whether Kenyan contractors or joint ventures involving Kenyan participation were considered in the development of these eligibility criteria. Number 4, the committee to provide information on the source of financing for the Kiambu Road expansion project, any donor funds if necessary, and indicate whether the funding terms specifically required the exclusive participation of Chinese enterprises. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I would wish that the committee recommend measures to ensure that future infrastructure projects promote fair competition, enhance local participation, and uphold transparency and accountability in procurement processes as per our Kenyan Constitution 2010. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Raphael Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a request for a statement on the quality and durability of solar energy products sold to residents of Kwale County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Energy on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the quality and durability of solar energy products such as Solar Panda, Delight, sold to residents of Kwale County. Mr. Speaker, sir, residents in many rural parts of Kwale County lack access to grid electricity and have to rely on solar-powered lamps supplied by solar energy solution providers for some of the energy needs. However, the residents have expressed concern that these lamps often become faulty after a short period, and that due to lack of repair services, they are forced to purchase other units. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, Mr. Speaker, whether their government set technical standards or certification requirements for solar energy products sold in Kenya aimed at ensuring safety, proper performance, and longevity. Number 2, whether there are mechanisms in place to monitor the performance of the products after sale and to ensure adequate after sale support, including provision of spare parts and repair services by respective suppliers. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the names of all companies licensed to distribute solar energy products in Kwale County and obtain information on the technical assessment of the quality and longevity of their respective products. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, whether each of the companies' providers repair and offer after-sales services, and if not, obtain the reasons for the same, as well as the steps being taken to remedy the situation. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the steps the national government is taking to connect all undeserved areas in Kwale County to the national electricity grid or alternative reliable off-grid energy systems to reduce reliance on private energy solutions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 57.1, the Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order number 57.1, I hereby present the business of the Senate for the week commencing 29th July 2025. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed to the statement, allow me to take this opportunity to laud honorable senators for ensuring the passage of the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2025, and the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, Senate Bills number 7 of 2025. During this sitting that was held on Tuesday, 22nd July 2025, and the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill number 2, Senate Bills number 8, that was passed on the 23rd of July 2025. These bills are crucial financial instruments that have an implication on the operations of the counties. I urge that this spirit continues in order to prosecute business before the Senate in a timely manner. However, this is not the end on these bills. I undertake to engage the leadership of the National Assembly to ensure expeditious consideration of bills. Mr. Speaker, as of now, this is the status of legislative business. 1, 55 bills, of which 37 are at the second reading stage and 18 are at the committee of the whole stage, are pending for consideration. 2, 31 motions are pending conclusion. 3, 28 petitions are pending conclusion by respective committees, out of which 19 are due for reporting. And fourthly, 505 statements pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1 are under consideration by the respective standing committees. Honorable Senators will observe that business listed on orders number 12, 13, 14, and 15 are motions on reports on petitions, which are subject to time pursuant to Standing Order number 238. I urge the respective movers of those motions to remain in the chamber to prosecute that business. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Tuesday, 29th July 2025, the Senate Business Committee will meet to consider the business for the week. The tentative business for that day will include business not concluded from today's order paper, as well as business indicated on the notice paper. The tentative business for the morning sitting on Wednesday, 30th July 2025 will include questions to Cabinet Secretaries as approved by the Senate Business Committee, as well as motions. The questions scheduled include the following. Question 84 to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, development by Senator Professor Margaret Kamar, EGH MP. 2, questions number 13 and number 18 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration by Senator James Morango, MP. Question number 26 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration by Senator Dr. Boni Khalwale, CBS, MP. Question number 28, 29, and 80 to the Cabinet Secretary for the Interior and National Administration by Senator Professor Tom Ojenda, Senior Counsel, MP. Question number 41 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration by Senator Daniel Mazo, EBS, MP. Question number 44 on the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration by Senator Edwin Sifuna, CBS, MP. Question number 49 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration by Senator Shakil Abdallah, MP. Question number 51 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, National Administration by Senator Catherine Muma, MP. Question number 54, 56, and 59 to the same Secretary by Senator James Lomenen, MP. Question number 62 to the same Cabinet Secretary by Senator Joyce Korir, CBS, MP. Question number 72 to the same Secretary by Senator Kaduri Murungi, MGH, MP. And question number 94 to the same Secretary by Senator Justice Retired Stuart Madayo, EGH, MP. Mr. Speaker, the tentative business for the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, 30th July 2025 will include business not concluded from Tuesday's order paper and the following businesses. A, bills that are at the second reading stage. The county governments State Officers Removal from Office Procedure Bill, the County Government's Senate Bills number 39 of 2024, and the Street Naming and Property Addressing Systems Bill, Senate Bills number 43 of 2024. B, bills that are at the Committee of the Whole, namely 1, the Early Childhood Education Bill, the Local Content Bill, the Street Vendors Bill, the County Library Services Bill. The Labor Migration Management Bill, the Sports Bill, the Public Fundraising Appeals Bill, the Heritage Museums Bill, the Environment Laws Bill, the Statutory Instruments Bill, the County Government's Elections Laws Bill, the Sports Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 45 of 2004. And then C, motions. 1, report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on its inquiry into the state of markets in Vihiga and Bungoma counties arising from a statement sought by Senators G. Osotsi, MP, and David Wakoli, MP. 2, progress report of the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity, and Regional Integration on an inquiry into the diversity and inclusivity in the staff composition of state agencies in Kenya, and 3, report of the Standing Committee on Energy on the county oversight and networking engagements in Wajir County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the projected business for Thursday, 1st July 2025 will include business not concluded for Wednesday's order papers and any other business scheduled by the certain business committee. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I thank you and do hereby lay this statement on the table of the Senate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments for 20 minutes. If you get the floor, kindly take not more than 2 minutes to contribute. Senator Fernandez, Senator Chirake.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I want to support the statement by Senator for Nairobi on the issue of accommodation among our students, Mr. Speaker. For some of us who have been to university, you can imagine the deplorable. Mr. Speaker, even the slums looks better than most of the hostels that we are seeing in most of these universities, Mr. Speaker. And even the exorbitant prices of over 40,000, yet there is no substantive work that has been done, Mr. Speaker. Can you believe most of our universities, you still find kunguni, or what is it called in English, bedbugs, Mr. Speaker? Our comrades are being eaten by bedbugs, Mr. Speaker. Can you believe? And this is the hub of serious knowledge engagement and discourse, Mr. Speaker. It can confuse, the bedbugs are confusing and making the sleep of comrades restless, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we used to have a say that when the help used to come, you eat like a king. You eat the chicken, then you eat what the chicken eats, and then you eat the chicken itself, Mr. Speaker. So it's very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. I want to appeal that under the affordable housing program, the government must include the university hostels, Mr. Speaker, to make life bearable for the comrades, Mr. Speaker. I felt very bad that they were demonstrating over basic. In fact, we should be discussing in our universities, Mr. Speaker, about the innovation and scientific issues. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with Senator Onyonga on the issue of Chinese, Mr. Speaker. I had a legislative proposal that contracts above 1 billion, below 1 billion, Mr. Speaker, should exclusively belong to Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. Can you believe Chinese and other nationals are doing contracts of 300 million, 200 million? What will happen to our local contractors, Mr. Speaker? I want to challenge Finance and Budget Committee to approve my legislative proposal that 1 billion and below should exclusively belong to Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, and I support all these statements. I thank you, Speaker, sir.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the statement by Senator Sifuna on the matter of the cases of killings happening at Kenyatta National Hospital. The Speaker, it is a very, very sad situation that the biggest teaching and referral hospital in Kenya, where patients are supposed to feel safe and secure, they are now living under fear because they don't know who is the next to be attacked within the facility. The Speaker, something needs to be done, and be done very, very quick to salvage the image of that institution. The Speaker talking about safety. The Speaker, even in our own precincts in Parliament, the Speaker, I had an incident this afternoon. I was sitting having lunch with a colleague, and somebody walks to us and says to me that, "You look familiar. Are you a member of some funny organization that he mentioned? I don't know which one." I said, "I'm not." And he says, "I'm sorry, I thought you were the one." And he goes, Mr. Speaker, we also need to ensure that members within the precincts of Parliament are also safe. We are having a lot of people accessing the precincts of Parliament, which is okay, Mr. Speaker, but it should be done in a way that we are also safe and secure. We don't want a situation like the ones happening at Kenyatta National Hospital to happen within the precincts of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, that should be taken very, very seriously. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Bone.
The issue raised by the Senator of Nairobi on the cost of accommodation at the university is very serious. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I would like that the committee goes further and looks into the new funding model. Mr. Speaker, the new funding model, when universities heard that that model has been brought into effect, they responded by raising the fees. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, just to bring to the attention of the House. I've been pursuing this disaster, and I've found that faculties have increased school fees by as high as 138% in the Faculty of Engineering, 105% in the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, as high as 81% in the Faculty of Medicine, and so on and so forth. Mr. Speaker, the net effect is that the cost of university education, whereas the old model was allowing parents to pay that small fee, but with this increment, even with the government paying the higher fee, using the means of testing, children are not able to pay. We have to look at it critically and ask ourselves, do we want this to be a country of people who come from the wash background, or do we want a country that will have young professionals like Eddie, good education, a guy who may...
Senator Kavindu. Senator Kavindu.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii nichangie kwenye statement hizi, and especially hii imeletwa na Sifuna, Senator wa Nairobi, kuhusu usalama wa wagonjwa pale Kenyatta National Hospital. Bwana Spika, inahuzunisha sana kwa sababu mgonjwa utoka nyumbani aende hospitalini, atibiwe, apone, aregee nyumbani akiwa mzima. Lakini Bwana Spika, ni ajabu ya kwamba hata sasa hivi wagonjwa wale wako pale hospitalini wakikumbuka ya kwamba wawili wamechinjwa pale kama ng'ombe, kama mbuzi, mtu anakatwa shingo kabisa mpaka kufa na ako hospitalini, hata kupona kwao itakuwa si rahisi sana, kwa sababu wako na hofu ya kwamba wao ndio watachinjwa next. Bwana Spika, tuko na security wengi sana, na sioni ni kwa nini hata hii ministry ya health hawawezi kuitisha security wa kutosha kukaa pale ili kulinda usalama wa wagonjwa. Na hii inamaanisha kwamba hata sisi tukitembea huku nje na kila mahali pengine hakuna usalama, kwa sababu ya hao watu ambao ni waovu. Na pia hii ya kwamba Bwana Spika, wagonjwa wanapona wanakaa pale hospitalini bila kuwa discharged. Wengine wao wanasemekana wana kwao. Hakuna mtu ambaye hana kwao. Na pia serikali inatakana iangalie watu kama wale, iwajengee homes za kuweza kupelekwa na kukaa pale kama nyumbani. Na wale ambao hawaondoki hospitalini kwa sababu ya kukosa
Senator Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise in support of the statement by Senator Onyonka. Honorable Speaker, he brought up some very important issues. The issue is not a problem in Kiambu only, the road on Kiambu. It is in the country. The problem we are faced with is Chinese companies are being given contracts. You can find Chinese traders doing some work, doing in markets like Chuka, Meru, Marsabit, Chinese. And Honorable Speaker, there is an issue brought by Cherokee. He says anything above, anything below 1 billion should be done by locals. Honorable Speaker, the companies that are working in Kenya today on roads and building are mainly Chinese. And if you look at those companies, Kenyan companies who are working in Kenya, have got pending bills to the tune of, in the counties, about 156 billion. Nationally, 426 billion. Most of these monies are supposed to be paid to local contractors. The Chinese contractors can afford to wait for the monies because they are being financed by the government. What about the local contractors? They are suffering. Honorable Speaker, the other days there was riot in Kenya. The shops were looted. People are complaining about shops that are looted. Unfortunately, that is a problem, yes. But after a few days, the insurance compensated them. Honorable Speaker, local contractors are being given jobs and they are not being paid. There is no insurance that will pay for monies that are supposed to be paid by the government. So, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The point that I wanted to contribute to is the issue that the question that has been asked about why the universities are increasing university accommodation fees. Mr. Speaker, it is true that we in the opposition sometimes just talk about the problem. So today I want to give a solution to the government. All these affordable housing units which the government is doing, which nobody wants, why can't the government do hostels in all our universities in the Republic of Kenya? Because if you do these hostels, we know the rent is not going to be more than 5,000 per month. And these hostels will pay for themselves because the parents are already paying anyway. Why are we building houses in places like when I went to Senator Methu's constituency in Nyandarua, in some place where you find there are trees and cows and there were no people there at all? Can we please build hostels for our universities and even our secondary schools, because the government can recover the money? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Murgo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also air my views. I support the statement made by the Senator of Nairobi about increase of hostel fees in our universities. Mr. Speaker, a member has just said that this will mean that the students of the well-to-do, the students of, or children of well-to-do and children of the people that are able to pay will be the ones that will be homed in those hostels. And therefore, children of poor people, commoners, will not be accommodated in the hostels in our universities. And therefore, that will drive children of the common Mwananchi into places that are not desirable and running into many situations in streets that are not likable. And therefore, the children of the commoners will suffer and probably drop out of universities because their parents cannot afford. And so this is heading the wrong way. Thank you very much.
Now, honorable senators, before I call the next member to speak, allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the gallery this afternoon of visiting students and leaders, student leaders and members of the Young Diplomats Forum from the United States International University, Africa. The delegation comprises 40 student leaders, including the members of the student government, electoral college and cabinet, as well as participants of the Young Diplomat Forum. The delegation is in the Senate for mentorship sessions with the Senate directorates. Honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Nairobi City County under 1 minute to extend the word of welcome.
Thank you, Speaker. I have
Senator for Nairobi, just take your seat. What is your point of clarification, Deputy Speaker?
Speaker, you notice the tradition of the House. When you read such a communication, senators should applaud that delegation. I was communicating to my brother here that senators are not running how the House behaves. So some of them are very senior members here. Nobody is stamping. It's only me who did it to speak. I'm very happy indeed. Very, very happy. Because that is the tradition of Parliament.
You've made your point clear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for passing that information to your colleagues. The Senator for Nairobi City County, you may proceed.
Thank you, Senator. Speaker, I want to alert the Senator from Meru that there is another tradition that when delegations come to visit us, we must buy them lunch. And now that you have insisted on the traditions of this House, the students from the USIU must know that lunch today will be from the Senator for Meru. Honorable Speaker, yes. And if he tries to feed you any brown beans, tell him in Nairobi only recognize KFC. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the House to welcome the student leaders from USIU. Indeed, I have many friends from USIU, this institution. My liaison officer, Karen, is one of those people who has maintained close relationships with this university. Honorable Speaker, it has produced some very good young people. My own brother went to USIU. It is one of those institutions that has excelled, exemplified itself in putting out young people who are able to take this country forward in terms of their contribution. We are discussing a very important issue about student accommodation in public universities. At least for you, Honorable Speaker, there has been a lot of investment from private funds to put up accommodation, student accommodation, especially at these private universities. You know about Kwetu hostels, you know about Nyumbani and the others. So we want the same standards to be maintained for your colleagues or counterparts in the public universities, and we are hoping that they will get an equal opportunity at education that all of us got to enable us to be able to be here. So I am available for you after this session. If the Speaker allows it, I will come back there with the Senator for Meru to undertake that tradition that we have talked about here. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish them a fruitful visit.
Senator Musalia.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kumpatia kongole mwandishi mkuu wa chama cha ODM ndugu yangu Sifuna na vile vile Senator wa Nairobi.
What is the point of order, Senator for Homa Bay?
Mr. Speaker, the 10 years I've been in this House, I've never seen money change hands so openly, so brazenly on the floor of this House. Mr. Speaker, this House is degenerating into that market where Jesus came in and whipped everybody and threw them out. Mr. Speaker, could you declare the Deputy Speaker to be completely out of order for flashing money, crossing, coming across the aisle, handing over money to Senator Sifuna? We do not know for what reason he's handing over the money. Maybe he's bribing Sifuna to go and burn the House again tonight on TV. Mr. Speaker, could you just declare that habit completely out of order? We cannot be doing money exchange in this House. We cannot be doing those things that Senator Ruto was calling sokohuru in this House. It is completely demeaning and unbecoming, Mr. Speaker, for us to be flashing and doing commercial transactions in this very hallowed chamber.
Senator for Homa Bay, unfortunately, the Speaker did not see it. And for me to rule on that matter, it requires evidence. And you know, if you need to require evidence, you know the route we'll take. We'll have to put the Deputy Speaker under oath so that he can also defend himself, a route that is not that desirable. So let's leave the matter where it is. Proceed, Senator Musalia.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kumpatia kongole ndugu yangu Sifuna kwa sababu ya kuleta hii taarifa ambayo inahusikana na mambo ya ulinzi ndani ya Kenyatta National Hospital. Bwana Spika, kama kuna hospitali kubwa ndani ya Kenya ambao kila Mkenya anaitegemea, hata akiwa mgonjwa katika kama ni kule tunaita Makadara ambao ni Coast General Hospital, ama akiwa mgonjwa huko akiwa Kisumu, ama akiwa Northeastern, sote tunategemea hii Kenyatta National Hospital kama hospitali ambao iko na madaktari wa kudumu, wale madaktari ambao wanajua kila kitu ambao wanaweza kutibu huyo mgonjwa. Leo hii ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba mtu anaweza kukatwa kama kuku. Kichwa kinakatwa, kinatolewa, na alafu huyo mtu aliyefanya namna hiyo hawezi kushikwa, akapelekwa kotini, ama akashikwa, ama akaonekana na kila mtu. Paka hivi juzi wameshika mtu ambaye hatujui kama ni yeye ama si yeye. Huyo mtu ameshakataa hiyo maneno, akasema si yeye. Sasa tunauliza kitu kimoja. Tunataka Bwana Spika, tunataka serikali jambo kama hili na hii komiti ambayo itapewa hii taarifa ili iweze kuchukua hatua na kuangalia ni nini. Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha hivi sasa tukisema ya kwamba hakuna utetezi wa aina yoyote kwa wagonjwa ndani ya Kenyatta National Hospital. Nataka hatua ichukuliwe haraka iwezekanavyo ili wale wagonjwa yoyote atakaye kwenda pale awe ana uhakika wa maisha yake na ugonjwa wake atatibiwa kisawasawa na atapona na atarudi nyumbani. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to comment on the statement by Senator Jute on sharing of data between telecommunication operators and the security system. Honorable Speaker, we passed a law 2019, the Data Protection Act, and it's very clear that if the telcos have to share any data, they have to get access either by consent by the concerned persons or through a court order, Honorable Speaker. So this is a very important statement so that we know what has been happening. So that, because, you know, we are exposed. We don't want to be exposed, and there's a law that is already protecting us, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the second statement I wanted to comment on is the one by Senator Onyonga, Honorable Speaker, that between Mudaika and Kiambu, they want to do a dual carriage, and it is the tender is restricted only to Chinese. Honorable Speaker, about 2020 or so, we passed a law both in this House and National Assembly that all contracts or tenders that are below 1 billion should be reserved for the locals. But even if it is above $1 billion, it is open. You don't restrict to foreigners, Honorable Speaker. This is something that we need to find out how else can our contractors grow if we continue giving all big contracts to foreigners, Honorable Speaker. We need to grow our own homegrown. Safaricom is a very huge company that's owned locally by Kenyans. They need to invest. An entity, pension funds like Lab Fund, Lab Trust, even NSSF, they should be doing these tenders instead of giving to foreigners, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to this request for statement that was placed by Senator Onyonka. The debate in this House might give the impression that we are xenophobic and we are against Chinese investment and Chinese contractors. That should not be the impression. I think the key concern is ring-fencing critical infrastructure projects that can be done by locals. Mr. Speaker, we must promote local contractors, we must promote local industry, because the problem with contractors coming from certain jurisdictions is that they are the ones who start with a feasibility study. They do a feasibility study and come and tell us that this can be done. They go ahead and do the design. They go ahead and do the financing. They go ahead and get their companies to do the implementation. And all the materials also come from those nationalities. That is not the way of building an economy. We need to build roads. We need to build railways. But the raw material must come from this country. The labor element should come from this country. Mr. Speaker, it is sad if for a road project, you find that the insurance for products is being underwritten in foreign countries. The financing and interest and the value that comes out of it comes from foreign countries. Mr. Speaker, I agree with Kenya's political position on geopolitics, that we face neither east nor west. We face forward, but we need to be careful about being boxed and about ring-fencing jobs and contracts that can be done by locals. And I hope that the committee will expand their inquiry beyond China and look at arrangements with the Americans, arrangements with the British, particularly when it comes to military procurement and military supplies. Mr. Speaker, we must believe in this country and we must support our local entrepreneurs and industry. Thank you.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support, contribute to the statement by Honorable Sifuna. Honorable Speaker, I think increasing the cost or the living of or rents for the students is actually going to be very dangerous. And it's going, you know, universities, all people converge from different corners of this country, and most of the students cannot even afford housing. And many of them now will end up into, you know, living into formal settlements, and they adopt a lot of funny characters. So most of them, because they are not even exposed so much to life in Nairobi. And therefore, many will be now prejudiced even their life. You see, many ladies are now, young ladies are being killed in the hostels, fine hostels and hotels and lodges. So I think increasing this, the rents, I mean the hostels money is not proper. And I think it's advisable that currently we have so many low-cost houses being built. The university now should be given some of these houses so that they can be able to provide a subsidized accommodation to the university students. Also, I want to support the settlement of Honorable Chute. Honorable Speaker, these days we have what we call data communication authority. And therefore, we need to protect the data of all communication that has been done by the people. I think we need this also, it's constitutional right to have privacy. for all the data that we have. These days, you see many people have been kidnapped and they're in the funny places and they've been taken all corners of the world, of the country. And therefore, as a result of that, we need our data to be protected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Endokech, Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statements, and I'd like to contribute to the two statements by Senator Sifuna. Honorable Speaker, the national government is in charge of very few, less than 10 facilities. It is so disturbing that Kenyatta National Hospital will be in the state in which it is, and that it will be that unsafe that people would be murdered in that institution. Mr. Speaker,